Whoa. It has been a bitterly cold day. It's Saturday, 4th of January. As you can see, I'm in the koi house, greenhouse, whatever you want to call it. And it has been bitterly cold. It's been about 2-3 degrees all through the day. And it was really frosty this morning. So, anyone in the UK at the minute, you'll know what I'm on about. It is bitterly cold and the forecast snow. I don't know whether in the East Midlands we'll get it. Last, I think it was November when the temperature dropped, we did get it. We got about 4 inches of snow. So this time I don't know whether we will catch it or not, but we will see. So there could be snow, so there could be snow. The Christmas decks went up, down or up the loft yesterday, and me and the wife did not kill each other, because there's normally a bit of a scrap in there when you're doing stuff like that, or at least cross words. Well, there is between us normally anyway, because you're carting stuff about, packing stuff away, and you have to laugh about it. We do laugh about it, but when we're doing it, it is a bit of a tentative time, because I'm up and down the loft, she's packing stuff, and funny. Anyway, enough of that waffle, let's get on to this. Hopefully the camera's okay, the DJI Action 4, because that's what I've got in my hand, and hopefully it's quite decent on the low light, because it is pretty dull in here at the minute. So in this one I've cleaned the filter out. I've cleaned the filter out, the brushes, because it's been 2 weeks on that. So I'm going to spin you round. Well, you're going to look at these first, because these are doing absolute marvellous still. Whoops. They haven't been fed, because the temperature now in here has just dropped slightly below 10 degrees. As you can see on the controller, it's sending power to the bloody air source heat pump, and I don't want it to. So I've got to tweak that down, because the air source heat pump at 3 degrees will not be efficient at all on the one I've got. So in this one, what have I got to show you? Well, quick update on the K Plus media. There it is. It's white as snow. So I put another, can't remember, is it 10 litres in today? So yeah, when I'm cleaning the filters out, my camera didn't have enough juice on it, so while I was charging, I put some more K Plus media in there, and I cleaned the brushes out. And what I want to show you is the RO. So there's the RO that I've ordered and fitted. I get it from Collins Water Products on eBay. Absolutely brilliant. I've had all my units from them. They're really helpful. Customer service is mega. Delivery is fantastic. Products are fantastic. So, an RO unit, how does it work? Well, the water goes in, sediment filter down to 5 micron. Then it goes through the carbon filter, and that will take out all the chlorine, and then it goes through a membrane, and that will takes out everything, and I mean everything. And then it comes out of there, goes through DI resin, and then it comes out and it's going down that tube, down that red tube, 4 mil in there, and coming out of there. And it's coming out at a good rate. Now, that's because I got the 150 gallon per day. I normally get the 50 gallon per day. So that now is going to give me about 680 litres a day, 150 gallon per day. And that's depending on the water pressure and things like that, so it'll probably give me a bit less. So what I will do is, on that outlet there now, my RO going into the pond, I will dip that into this bag, because then that just goes through some the carbon, a bag of carbon in there. Not going to do a lot more, but I could just leave it like that. But I normally just put it in that sack so it runs into the sack. And I've calibrated the cat doily, as you can see, or you probably can't see. Now what I've noticed on this is, look at the ppm, 880. 880 on this pond. I know, that's what I thought. So, right, with RO, what you've got to watch, so now I know I'm not trickling in like I was before. I've not got no big blue with bone char or catalytic carbon, which is like £200 a sack. I've gone the RO route. Now, which means it will be 0 ppm, no solids going into this pond at all. So what will that mean? Well, what that will do is, what I'm going to do is, when I drop the water off once a week, I'm not going to trickle in. It's going to be a closed pond. And then when I clean this filter out like I did today, it drops the water, as you can see, a good inch. And then I'm going to put the RO on and leave it on for a day. And then it will fill the pond back up with 0 TDS, 0 KH, and around about a neutral pH. So I know exactly what's going into there. There's no risk of chlorine, chloramine, nothing going in. And then what it will do is, that will gradually reduce the ppm in this pond. So it'll be interesting. This is 885. This will gradually start getting lower and lower and lower. Now I've noticed on my main pond outside, which is on RO, that has plateaued at about 100 ppm. But it gets rainwater in there as well, up there, but obviously this won't get rainwater. So what does that mean? Well, I will, once this starts dissolving, if you like, once the ppm starts reducing, because there's 0 ppm going, it will obviously get reduced over time. Now there'll be a point in time where this should be really low in ppm. But then what you've got to do is, the downside, or I say the downside, it's not really, it's just how it is. There is no buffering capacity with RO water. So what does that mean? Pure RO water with KH, there's no buffering capacity because there's no KH in there. It's 0 KH. So what you've got to watch is, what will happen is, once it reduces, the KH will start reducing. And so I've got to find out now where this pond's going to plateau. And then I've got to obviously monitor and watch the, I don't think KH will be a problem. No, pH, sorry. pH will hopefully steady out around 7.2. At the minute, look, it's 7.9. 7.9 pH, 885 ppm, 172 MV. But the water going in there ppm is 0. Okay, so at some point this water in this pond will plateau. Now at that point it'll reach, you know, what I think is the ideal conditions. But what I've got to watch is the stability, because what can happen is, or what will happen is, there's no doubt about it, there'll be a point that it'll plateau, you'll reach stability, and then it will become unstable. And that's where then you then got to monitor and make sure that you're getting the KH in there, which I'm putting KH in anyway once a week at the minute. So once a week at the minute I'm putting it in. So then I'll have to be super careful and monitor that side. But the benefits is, the water will be on the neutral, hopefully toward the neutral side. But then I can, you know, keep that, if I can keep that KH around about 4 or 5, then that will hopefully keep the nitrifying bacteria and the biological filter happy and ticking along nicely. Now obviously I've got extra, there's going to be in there 50 litres of K plus media, so I'm hoping that come summertime when this is feeding, I'm going to be laughing and getting the balance right. We will see though. So I've got to learn now what it's going to do. Okay, so that's the route I'm going. So yeah, that's it. Buzzing. Well, jobs are good one. So let's see, it'll be an interesting one I think. Hope you agree. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea because people just want to try and maintain things with water going in. Now I've found when you put with water going in, it just doesn't, I've never maintained a pond, whether it's my main pond outside, indoor pond, this pond, I've never maintained the KH. It always depletes. Always depletes, even with water changes, even with trickling in, because my water, the pH is normally around about 7.2 to 7.8 in that region, and the KH is normally around 3, and it's just not enough to sustain. And then you've got the added negative if you've got chlorine going in, and potentially chloramines and heavy metals. So that's another main benefit I'm getting out of RO. I know, yay, there's no heavy metals going in this pond, because I know that zero is going into that pond, so all I'm left with a closed circuit. So to me it all makes sense to me, because that's what I do with plants. Zero ppm water, and then I put the orchid food into the water, so I know that the only thing that's in that water is the orchid food. So I know now with this that I will have to, yeah, do maybe a bit of buffering and what's the KH on this, and then, you know, whatever I add into it is all a benefit, i.e. I could use a clay, or, you know, and just maintain it and keep putting something like that in. Now what I'm thinking of doing is, where that tub is there, God, it's gone cold now, look. I'm thinking of getting a vessel and getting a solution of bicarbonate of soda. So what do I mean about a solution? Making a solution. Put the powder, put RO water into it, shake it, dissolve the, make the solution of bicarbonate of soda, have a pipe coming off it, have a tap on it and have it just dripping in. Boop, boop, boop. So it's trickling in constantly. Now the only downside with that, because it's manual, you're not automatically dosing it, you're just trickling it in. So in an ideal world, you know, you'd have some sort of setup where once that KH, you'd have a KH monitor, and I don't think there is one, and then once it drops, say if you've got it set to 5, once it drops to 4, it doses a solution in and keeps it and pumps it back up to 5, but that's quite technical. Now what, on marines, what you do, on marine tank, you just dose a certain amount every day. You learn what amount you need daily to go into it, and that's what you set your dosing pump on to. So I know that on mine, I think I have about 14 mil of a solution going into my reef tank every day of the solids, the minerals going in. So I could do that, learn. So say for example, I don't know, this takes 100 grams bicarb a week. I could put 20 grams in, try and work out what 20 grams is a day into a solution and have that dripping in. But I think, you know, from what I've learned, it's just basically trial and error. So I could make a slush, a slurry of bicarb solution in a tub with a valve and a tap and have it dripping in, and then turn that tap bit by bit, open it, close it until it maintains 4 or 5 kH, whether that's possible or not. I think I'm going to play about with that and have a look at that, but I think that might be my next step. But at the start, what I will be doing is just doing it manually, i.e. me putting it in every few days or once a week. You're best to do it, in an ideal world, I would be better off adding in bicarb of soda every single day. So when I come in and I'm feed, put the bicarb of soda in, maybe 30 grams in per 1,000 litres. So I could come in, 30 grams to 1,000 litres. I think if you did that to that, you would change by 1 point. So if I needed to change this by 1 point every day I'd have in this, it'd be 30, 60, 90, I'd be 150 grams going in here. So I could start at say 30 grams every day, and that would maintain 1 degree of hardness over a period of a week. So there you go. Quite a lot of waffle there coming out my mouth, wasn't there? The feeder there's no food going in at all now because of this cold weather. They're not getting fed. In fact, I did add some sake water, just a few pellets in there today, but just see if they take it, and they did take it. But they're not going to get. I've had 1 feed in 2 days, so I'm going to leave them. They're going to have a bit of a fasting period if you like. Now the temperature's really dropping, and then just hopefully get through this spell. Hopefully get some warmer temperatures and get some heat in here, and get going again for a growing season. Calibrated this, 3-point calibration, and this is a truncheon. These are brilliant. If you've never seen one of these, I'll show you how it works. So what you do, you have batteries in it, and when it touches the water it'll flash. That's flashing between 1.6, 1.6. That's 800 ppm, and that's saying it's 885. These are brilliant. They are so much better than these. So much better. So if you want to know your TDS, you just dip it in, oops, and then it'll flash for a bit. Do it on that, look. That's flashing on 800, 1.6 EC. So yeah, they're really good, these are. And it only takes 3 batteries, and you don't have to calibrate it. The tips are so easy to clean. These are just a nightmare for pH. Anything with a probe like these are, you have to take the pH with a pinch of salt. So on that note, yeah, we will see. It obviously comes with instructions as well, just on a paper format, how to install them, but they're dead easy. You just have water going in, water going out. You have a waste pipe, so that's worth mentioning. There's the actual waste pipe. So now it's on, that's the water going into the pond. So that's the water going to waste. You see it? Quite significant. So what does that mean? Well, if you're on a water meter, obviously you're putting water back into either your drain, or mine's going into a soakaway. So it is a waste of water, but I'm past all that. If you need it, I think you need it. So, and I think the wastage of these, depending on how much pressure is going into them, for every litre you're wasting, like, I think about 6 litres. So for every 6 litres lost, you're gaining a litre. But it is quite wasteful, because if you're on a water meter you might think, well, no, I'm not doing that. But if you consider the cost of topping up anyway your pond, you're basically replenishing that anyway. You'd normally do that anyway. And what about if you've got the cost of, if you've got carbon, catalytic carbon, standard carbon, what's the other one, people? Oh, bone char. That's a significant cost, isn't it? Anyway, so I don't know, you've got to weigh it up and see what works for you. Because to me, years ago with RO, I think, oh no, I'm not getting it, just wasting water. Well, I don't really care much nowadays, because there's that much wastage about when you go down the street and you see bloody burst pipes and stuff. With the amount of money I'm paying now for the service and the water, I'm taking it. If I'm paying for it, I'm taking it. Sorry if you don't like that view. I'm 50 now, and over the years I've been really careful over the years, and I've got to a point now where everything's that expensive. If I'm taking it, there's no way, if I'm paying for it, there's no way I'm taking what I want, because I'm paying for the service. So yeah, that's my view nowadays. Fish are looking good. Alright, let's see where it goes. So, on that note, if you like the video, please hit the like button, please hit share, please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, I really appreciate your support. Many thanks, and oh, come on, let's have some warmth. It's been cold in here, it's been bitter cold in here. The temperature in here now, well, that's the thermometer saying it's only 2 degrees. Let's have a look. I don't trust that. And that one's saying it's about 7, so it's about 7 degrees in here, and outside it's about 1 now. It is bitterly cold. So I dropped the water on there. So yeah, let's see what happens with the K Plus media. Let's see what happens with the Oro. I'm confident, I'm ready for a good season. Preparation, getting to tip to take away from this: source water. Get your source water right, get as pure as possible. There's no chloramine, heavy metals. Tick. Hopefully I've got that now, even better than I've had before, and I won't need pond detox anymore. On that note, and I'm digressing, if I do think, do you know what, I've thought, if I do get to a point where the water's too soft and I need to get some tap water in there to just bump that TDS up a bit or something like that, I can just get the tap in, because my water is about 200 ppm, and then I can use something like pond detox formula to get rid of the toxin, you know, any heavy metals and stuff like that. Neutralises pollution and all that stuff, and treat with that, and sodium thiosulfate. So I've got that option as well. I can go to traditional water changers if I need to, if I really need to. I don't think I will. I've never needed to with the, you know, wanting the main pond, but I do top up on that sometimes with tap water and put sodium thiosulfate in. So just gives me another element, another option. 150 gallon per day water going in. Brilliant. So let's see how it goes. Let's get through this snow. If you do have snow, if you're in Scotland or anything like that, I do feel for you. I couldn't live somewhere like that. It's too cold for me. This is cold enough for me. I'd much prefer to be in Tenerife, because I'd miss everything, like my koi and stuff, wouldn't I? So you can't have everything. So on that note, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, please, thanks. Comment below. What do you reckon to that? I know it's not really everyone's cup of tea, but it is my cup of tea. Thanks for watching.